I have a bug on my face. Man, that's kind of
Like, does my hair look okay? You promise? Yeah. Lips good? Yeah. Okay, ready. Sorry. Scratch that. Now I'm like, woo! All right, take 4. Whitley, I'm sitting radio. I'm so nervous. My name is Presley Albertson, and I am Whitley's younger sister. One of my favorite memories with Whitley is all of our family vacations, pretending that we were Baywatch lifeguards when we were like 7 years old. And every Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, we would always sleep in the same room together and be waking each other up in the middle of the night, sneaking downstairs to see what Santa brought us, even when we were 19, 20 years old.
Hello, my name is Jared Robinson. I'm 25, and I'm Nick Straka's best friend. My favorite memory with Nick would probably be right after class. Nick was begging me to go to a party up at Milliken, but I had to work. But he kept telling me just to cancel work. So I had made up an excuse to go to this party up with Nick, and pretty much then we started making all the memories. So that was probably like the best memory, because it pretty much started like one of the best friendships I had with somebody.
Nick and I have known each other since the 3rd grade. I can't remember the exact moment we first met, but I do remember that whenever he moved here, all the girls were going nuts because he looked just like Justin Timberlake. And 5 years after we graduated, we re-met.
We met at a bar called the Townhouse. I wasn't even supposed to be there that night. My sisters were out that night, I guess, traveling around with other friends, and they needed shoes. So I went and got them shoes, and I took them to the bar.
And I walked into the Townhouse, and when I walked in, I was scanning the crowd and saw a line of people by the bar.
It was like, it's unexplainable. There was a crowd of people, and they just parted, and she had walked through the door. All of a sudden, this line of people just split, and there was Nick Straka, and my first thought was, oh my gosh, he is still as sexy as ever. And when I went up to him, I'm pretty sure that's the first thing out of my mouth. She came right to me with a big smile on her face and hugged me, asked how I was doing. His 2 sisters, Kate and Shelby, were there, and I went up to Kate and I said, you know, you have to make this happen. You know, go talk to him for me. And it started from there, and it was kind of like a connection that, yeah, you just felt it. My favorite physical attribute about Nicholas is his butt. She has like the prettiest smile. I love his butt. And I'm sure everybody tonight at the reception is gonna be looking at his butt, and that's okay. He's got a great one. If she's smiling, I'm smiling. And I like to have fun. I like to be goofy, and knowing that she's smiling that whole time, it kind of just gives me like a very different purpose. But other than that, I do love his smile. I love when he laughs, and you know, it lights up a whole room. I would say her eyes as well. I mean, can I just say like their whole face? I mean, it's just, she's such a beautiful person. I knew that Nick was the one for Whitley, or when I knew that he was going to be around for a while, I saw on Facebook that Whitley and Nick Straka became friends, and then that night she told me that they were going to hang out, and I just had a feeling that he was going to be in the family for good.
I knew Whitley was the one for Nick, and Nick was the one for Whitley when Nick decided to start hanging out with her more often, and he decided to hang out with me.
I knew Nick was the one for me October 5th, 2013. We started dating, well, we met on August 31st, 2013. Started dating on September 13th. Told each other we loved each other for the first time on September 17th. And I mean, yes, like I thought I was in love with him, you know, when we said it, but when I really knew was October 5th, 2013. We were at a birthday party / anniversary party. There was music and drinks, a ton of people there, this pole barn. And him and I danced the whole night. He just made me feel like I was the only girl, I mean, the only girl in the room, but the only girl in the whole world. I mean, I just felt, you know, so much love from him, and I knew I was going to spend the rest of my life with him.
You know, we got into an argument, and the whole time, I couldn't imagine losing her, or me walking out, and that kind of just hit me. You know, if you get to that realization that you never want to leave, even at the worst, like I just felt like I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. If I know that even at some of the rockiest times, we can spend that time together and still kind of rationalize around the idea that we love each other.
What I love most about Nicholas.
Hey, where do you begin? She's more worried about me at the end of the day than her, and like I feel the same way about her. You know, it's genuine. Like you can see it, you can feel it, that she cares more about making me happy than her own happiness. Any discussion I have about, you know, maybe future goals or you know, maybe children or something like that, she's always willing to say, you know, that's how I feel, or that's not how I feel, and then she'll reason with me, or you know, and it takes a lot to reason with someone like me. You know, I'm very stubborn, and she's done it every day, and I give it to her, and I'm sure a lot of people do, for being able to put up with somebody like me. So obviously I love her very much for that.
Number one is how hardworking and determined he is. You know, he never gives up on anything. It doesn't matter what life throws him. He takes it on with ease. He just works so hard and is so focused, and, you know, always goes after what he wants, and it's something that I've truly admired about him since day one. Number two is how helpful he is. You know, I don't know how many times we've stopped alongside of the road and helped somebody change a tire, ask if they need help. Probably the most important thing is how he loves me. Whenever you're at your worst and, you know, you look horrible, you feel horrible, it doesn't matter. He always makes me feel loved, and there's not a day that's gone by that I haven't felt loved.
So we planned it for the night of her family Christmas party. So it would have been the 23rd of December. No, the 23rd of December. Is that right?
Nick proposed to me on December 23rd, 2015. We had a Christmas party planned at my parents' house that night. It was for my mom's side of the family. And my mom had texted me earlier that day and said, hey, you know, would you mind going and picking up the food for tonight? And I said, no, not a problem, that's fine. So we went and picked up the food, got to my parents' house, and everybody was already there. And then, you know, I walk in and, hey, what took you so long? We've been waiting forever. And, you know, I said, well, you know, Mom told me to be here at 5:30. You know, I was just listening to her. And someone said, hey, Presley wants you in the guest bedroom. And when I went back there and opened the door, Nick's mom and his sister and her husband, Dakota, were standing there. And as soon as I saw them, I knew what was about to happen.
When she opened the door, I was supposed to be down on one knee and just ready to like spew out this long speech I had pre-written in my mind. And I couldn't do nothing. I froze. all I could do was just get down on one knee. I mean, I couldn't say nothing.
And I turned around and he was walking towards me right in front of the Christmas tree, and he got down on one knee and asked me to marry him.
She said yes.
In the next 5 years, I hope that we have lots of babies that look just like him. If you've seen his baby pictures, you know how adorable he is. And every time I look at them, I always tell him, like, my babies have to look like you. They have to look just like him. Overall, I hope that we're as happy and as in love with each other as we are today.
Kids, obviously, you know, I'd like to start, you know, next year. And, you know, I'd like to see us, I'd like to see us in a stable environment. You know, I'd like to see us in our own home. I want to see, you know, in a good community, a good surrounding, you know, hopefully both in our dream jobs. And, you know, it's hard to say where I see us, but I know I see us together. So.
The best advice I'd give Nick and Whitley is to be happy, definitely love each other.
The advice I have for you guys is, unfortunately, there are going to be fights along the way, but just try not to fight about the small stuff. Always be thankful that you guys have each other, and you guys are a team now, so always be on each other's side and try to enjoy the time that you guys have when it's just the two of us, because once the kids come along, it's going to be a little more challenging, but I'll always babysit.
The day before the wedding, the morning of, people are going to bring her notes. I'm kind of excited to see her reaction, because actually at the end of this, I'll give her another one. It's just going to be like, the grand finale, just being able to seal everything up that night into one final letter, and hope you love it.
Nicholas, I love you so much. And I'm so blessed that I get to walk by you for the rest of my life. And there is not a single person that I'd want to spend it with other than you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing me and loving me the way that you do. I'm so happy that I get to be your wife.